Copy link. Fantastic. Fantastic. We'll wait just a tiny bit. What? Кстати, надо было. А что если я сделаю? Уже все, да? Давай, здесь уже не могу так сделать. Create, highlight. Touch, mute, flip. Waiting. Light on. Okay. Green screen. Так, ну вот минуточку, прям минуточку. I mean, a minute. Минуточку, я такая на русском уже. Сейчас посмотрим, кто присоединится. Я потом это все равно вырежу. Здесь настроек нету, да? Welcome to live chat. Remember to guard your privacy and abide. Yeah. Anyways. Let me just see something. See something. Запустилось все. Да, супер. Super. Right. So it's on. Let me just switch this off. I've got my ingredients with me. I hope you prepared yours as well. Let's begin. I'm very glad to see you all guys here. And today we are going to again ferment something interesting. At the same time, something simple. My goal today is to show you how simple fermentation can be and how you can transform any recipe that you see online or somewhere in the book, or maybe you make the recipe using different methods like canning, for example, with hot brine and all that business. And how can you make that, nothing wrong with that recipe, by the way, with that method, but how can you make that recipe even more healthy, add nutritional value to that, add probiotic content and so on. So at the same time, still keep it tasty and still have quite a few recipes can stay a very long time in the fridge, some of them even outside the fridge, because fermentation is a method of preserving food for longer, giving it extra shelf life. And so my name is Anna Drozdova. I welcome you to my space, to my kitchen actually. And today we are going to ferment, sort of like a probably salad, you can call it. I saw that recipe in Instagram. One of the nutritionist bloggers, I think, was making it, and she was using method called quick pickling. That's what it's called, quick pickling method. And she chopped some vegetables and she covered it all with vinegar, right? And it was a few hours, and then she kept it in the fridge, and you can eat that straight away. Let me do that. And so we are going to transform this recipe and see how that works out for us in the next few days. Yeah, because on Instagram I will be showing recipe progress, in stories, and then save that in highlights. So you can always go back to that recipe and check it out, how things were going, right? Where were the bubbles? When did we know that it was ready? And so on and so forth. I have already prepared my jar, my glass jar. I recommend to use only glass around fermentation. And I already have sterilized that. Yeah, so basically boiling water, very, very hot boiling water. You just not cover, but like you try to get all the sides of your jar. You swish it around, discard, that's it. The same you do with the lid. Do not after you've done this, do not go in with clean cloths and napkins and whatever, and try to dry that, because you are going to be introducing some foreign microorganisms. We don't need that, basically. Yeah, so just discard like that. That's it. So what have we got in the menu? I already prepared my cucumber, my carrot. I already peeled the carrot. You don't have to. Yeah, if it's organic from your garden, you don't need to peel it, but clean it well. I had made some additions. I've made some additions and some substitutions from the original recipe, because in the original recipe, obviously, the blogger uses salt and sugar instead of sugar. Well, we can completely omit that, or I'm going to use a little bit of an apple, just tiny bit, yeah. And also I added a few things. Ooh, there's more ingredients here. You've got some radishes. And as I love garlic so much, I thought, why not? So we're going to add some garlic. What you are going to do, what ingredients you're going to add, that's really up to you, and what spices. Yeah, I also have some dill. I thought it would go really well together, aromatics wise. But if you don't have any of the ingredients, that is okay. You do not have to make this recipe only with these ingredients. Yeah, it could be different. So let's I've got some spices there. We'll get to the spice a little bit later. So let's start chopping. Yeah, because we've got lots of stuff we need to do ahead of us. So you can use just a knife, yeah, because in the recipe she had sort of semi-spheres, yeah, so slices, but she sliced it like she cut it in half first, and then semicircles. She's got everything cut in that style. It doesn't have to be like that. It can be any other shape you want. What I'm going to do, I have this wonderful mandolin. The only thing I would draw your attention to is that cucumber is very soft and very watery, will ferment really fast. Carrot is really hard and not as watery, not as juicy, and will ferment longer. In any case, this is not the recipe where everything gets soft or anything like that. No. It will be really nice when the cucumber will be kind of crunchy when it's ready. Yeah, the recipe is ready. And the carrot is quite crunchy. So that sort of, those things together will work really well. But still, we will try to chop the same with radishes, somewhere in between, right? Garlic generally ferments for a long time. I'm going to show you something. I've got, well, I started eating it already a little bit, but this is my whole garlics, and they ferment for around 3 months. Yeah, but you need to understand that the smaller you chop something, the faster it will ferment, and vice versa. Yeah. So what we're gonna do is we're going to chop the carrots. I'll try to chop the carrots really, really thinly, and I'm going to be doing probably some of them will be circles, some semicircles. I'll see about it. I'm not sure yet. So carrots and garlic, I'm going to chop really, really fine in terms of thickness. Yeah. Radish is somewhere in between, a little bit thicker, and then cucumber, probably thicker yet. Okay, so let's put these things aside for now and concentrate on our carrot. There you go. So that's why I've got this lovely tool, which, as you can see, I've used and used and used over and over. So I've got this setting here really, really thin. I'm going to test it now. And then so I've got very, very thin, probably less than a millimeter, which I really like. So that's what, that's how I'm going to proceed. You can use just a knife, yeah. It does not have to be this extremely thin, paper thin. Some of them are paper thin. But if you're using mandolin, be very careful. Mind your fingers. We don't really need protein in this one. What I'm going to do now, I'm going to do this. Oops. Okay. We want to leave our fingers intact. That is it. I'm going to continue chopping this already with my knife. And straight away, I'm going to put everything into a bowl. What we didn't do is weigh all the ingredients, which we will do a little bit later. It's just easier to weigh the ingredients when they are whole. But that's not going to stop us. And probably I'm not going to be doing the circles. I'm just going to do this. So it's stable and I don't chop off my fingers. There you go. I'm trying my best to be as thin as possible, but even if some of them will be thicker, that's not a problem at all. Yeah? Next, garlic. Garlic, I will try to chop also thin slices, as thin as possible. There you go. Yeah. You might want to use just one garlic, but as I love garlic so much, I don't think there can be too much garlic, to be honest with you. So I'm just going to use. It's cleaning very fast. I didn't clean well. There you go. And okay, now the radishes. The radishes being round and not stable, probably I'm gonna chop off a base. And then slightly thicker than the carrot, probably twice as thick as the carrot. But again, you don't have to run around with a centimeter or ruler and try to be exact like that. It doesn't, you don't need to, right? We have quite a few radishes. So we're gonna spend some time doing this. There you go. Very nice, very fresh radishes. I just got in the local shop. There. Go. Very strange shape. What we're gonna do next is, after chopping our cucumbers, we want to weigh the ingredients so we know how much salt to put. Please don't ignore this step, because especially if you're a beginner, it's important to put the correct amount of salt, so we, you know, because we don't want pathogenic microorganisms in our ferment, right? We want everything to go really well and create. Now we rely on microorganisms to create and transform our ingredients into something really yummy and really healthy, right? Very beneficial for us. And for them to do that, they need us to create certain environment in the jar. And this is what we are doing here. Okay, radish is done. Radishes. There you go. Cucumber. I'm gonna chop off the ends. I am probably going to, yeah, it's just gonna be circles, and they will be thicker, you see, thicker yet, so could even be more thick than this. In the original recipe, there were semicircles like this, but she also cleaned the seeds of the cucumber. Not gonna do that, but if you want to do that, you can. It's really up to you. There we go. It's gonna be very pretty in here. Look at that. There. So now that we've got this, these are our main ingredients. Oh wait, apple. Got the apple. There you go. Just half an apple is enough here. In general, we probably have around half a kilo here, about, maybe a bit less. We're going to weigh that down in a bit. I'm just cleaning. I am probably, oh no, I'm not gonna do that. You can clean the skin if you want. I'm not gonna do that. So I'm going to just do the slices like that. Semi thin, probably like yeah, like our radishes. Oops. Apples will also give a little crunch, and they will give a little bit of different sweetness, yeah, because all these ingredients have some sugar content, obviously. But apples will give it a nice, especially in the beginning, when we will just start eating the our ferment. I'm going to hide apples straight away in so they don't get the chance to oxidize, because we don't want brown apples in there. Yeah. By the way, all the ingredients could be chopped in a matchstick, sort of like a larger matchstick, like that style. Would also be really nice. Where did I throw this? I don't know. There you go. Now we are going to take another bowl, get our scales, and weigh down the ingredients so we know how much salt we need to use. Just like I thought, 580 grams, right? So what we need to do now is we need to calculate the amount of salt. 58, 580, 180. Generally, very often the percentage of salt used for fermenting vegetables, yeah, it really very often depends on what vegetables those are, but somewhere between 2 and 5%. Some of them a bit higher, but we don't have those vegetables here, yeah? So I will probably go for around between, for this specific ferment, you can go between 2 and 3% per the weight. Yeah, I'm gonna go with 2. I'm pretty sure it will be more than enough. So 580 or whatever weight of ingredients you've got, times 2 and divided by 100, right? So that's around a bit more than 10 grams. Yes, so it's about 11 and a half grams, which is around less than a tablespoon. Yeah, because tablespoon is about 15 grams. So I'm gonna use my, you know what, I'm going to weigh it down as well. I'm going to do by weight. The salt. Yeah, I'm using sea salt. I'll show you what I use. Could be Himalayan salt. Yeah, I always try to use good quality salt and never table salt. It just lacks nutrients and has some anti-nutrients, which we don't want. So that will be around this and a little bit more. That's it. It's not that much salt. I'm going to add our spices. You know what I did? What else I want to do? With the dill. The option is, as I see it, you can do it like this together, put it on the at the bottom of your jar, and then put those ingredients on top when we will be filling up the jar. However, you can also do this. Yeah, you can chop all of it and add here. I'm going to put these two under the like at the bottom of the jar. Yeah, I'll leave them here so I don't forget. And these I'm going to probably chop, or could even go like whole. Yeah, let's do whole. Drop it there. What else I've got? I have also thought that because in the original recipe there were no spices but salt and sugar. That's it. I want to add some mustard seeds. It could be yellow mustard seeds. It really doesn't matter. I feel we need around 1 teaspoon. Gazillion of measuring spoons. I love them, so that's why I'm gonna use my measuring spoon. Teaspoon. Mind you, this is a salad that you will be scooping and putting in your bowl and eating. Yeah, so I've got here some black peppercorns, but I'm thinking that will not be very practical when you put that in your food with your food. You have to eat in a little bowl or something, in a little dish. We'll have to pick those out. So I'm thinking probably not. With mustard seeds, however, they do not, while fermenting, first of all, they're very small, and second of all, while fermenting, they kind of get softer, and you can actually eat them like that. It's not a problem at all. So what I'm gonna do is 1 teaspoon, 2 teaspoons of mustard seeds, I thought. There we go. I'm not going to put the You can, however, put black peppercorns. That's nothing wrong with that. Yeah. It's just I prefer not to at this point. And also you can grind the peppercorns or use ground pepper, black pepper here. Also a good idea. Also, what I've got is some chili peppers. It could be fresh chili peppers if you want to add this sort of, you know, heat, a little bit of heat in your dish. But it could be chili flakes, it could be chili powder, it could be dried chilies like I've got. And with dried chili, you could again put it together to the bottom, at the bottom, together with those stalks of dill, or can chop that. And I'm thinking what I want to do. I'm going to do this. Just going to put those both at the bottom. How much or how little chili pepper, if at all, you put, it's up to you. You can decide. It's not going to affect anything but the taste. That's all. All right, so what we do now is I'm going to take my, somewhere here should have my glove. Don't have to, yeah, there's no spice here, so it could be like that. And what we're gonna do right now, for a few minutes, we're going to be sort of massaging our veg into our salt into the veg. Дай мне, пожалуйста, зарядочку сюда. Сейчас сдохнет. The smell is already very nice. So we want to massage the spices. Yeah, you could use some ground spices here as well if you feel they will work really well with those ingredients. Yeah. And today we're starting with quite a small portion. Whenever you're testing a recipe, trying it out, try not to make 2 kilos of that or something like big amounts, large amounts. Try to go like half a kilo, you know, just to, oops, everything's falling apart. Something just to taste, because you don't know how it will work out. Yeah, so in order not to waste your produce and your effort and your time, I'm going to probably this, probably put it here for now. Because it gets smashed. I don't really want that. And like this, we can stay and massage for a bit. The main point of this massaging is to dissolve our salt and to redistribute it among all the ingredients, and also help the salt to create the brine, right? So adding salt, actually salt in fermentation, a fermenting product, it has quite a few important roles, and here's its role: to create osmotic pressure and draw all the juices, all the liquids from the ingredients, creating natural brine, right? We are most probably going to add some additional brine, yeah, but I try to use as little in this sort of recipes, as little water as possible. Включи, пожалуйста, в розетку, Макс. Ты в розетку не включил. Ты в розетку не включил. В стене. В стене. Нет. А ты не вставил? Just a second. There you go. There you go. Something was, yeah. Fantastic, thank you. So, we're trying to, I really like to rely on natural brine, yeah, where possible, of course, without adding any extra additional water, which we will have to do today. But yeah, if you check 2 weeks ago cucumbers, fermented cucumbers recipe, we did not rely on any additional water, so we just used the brine that was there, that cucumbers released. By the way, if you cover this and leave it for half an hour or even an hour at room temperature, it will create even more brine, and you might not need to sort of add extra water. Yeah, we're not gonna wait today. So, and you will see that everything becomes moist, and I even have a little pool of brine at the bottom, which is fantastic. Right, let's go in. So this is what we have. Very, very pretty, and smells fresh and nice, especially if you have an allotment and if you can get those ingredients fresh from the ground. That will be just completely mind-blowing in terms of taste, in terms of flavor, in terms of nutrients, the benefits. Yeah. So I've got my jar. Probably I have a bit more, well, not probably, but I have a bit more ingredients than can fit into half a liter jar. This is half a liter jar. The principle of choosing the jar for your ingredients, because we know how much they weigh, right? You would need a jar in the volume of around 200 ml more. So basically, if we have 300 gram of ingredients, 500 gram a jar would be perfect. Yeah, milliliter. So I have 580, around 6, probably 100, and it's not going to fit here, yeah, because what we want to do is we want to, when we pack everything into the jar, we want to leave a little bit of space, like depending on the size of the jar. Obviously, if it's a 5-liter jar, we would leave like 5 probably centimeter from the top, maybe a little bit more. This half a liter, probably 1.5, like half an inch free space, yeah, for all the fermentative activity. So when you leave it to ferment, because the juices will go up and down, so it doesn't overflow and mess up your kitchen. Plus, we do not want to miss, and we do not want to waste this amazing brine, which is one of the most important things in this recipe. Yeah, the brine is packed with probiotics. It's really really good. I have got a little helper. This wonderful vegetable, I think vegetable packer it's called. Tamper, something like that in English, right? I got that mine on Amazon. It's really, really good. I really, really love it because it has 2 sizes here, different size, so you can use in any jar, and it's really efficient. This is the specific tool made for packing things into the jar for fermentation, right? So we've got our chili pepper, and let chop them like that so they fall to the bottom. Yeah, we have this at the bottom, and we just fill our jar. The principle here is to put in a few handfuls, and then take the tool or take the tablespoon and press it down, because we want to pack it really well, really efficiently. Or your hand, if your fist fits into the jar, maybe it's a wider jar. So what I'm gonna do is what we want here, yeah, so what we want to achieve by packing this jar is, first of all, pack as much ingredients in one jar as possible. So we want to be efficient. Secondly, we want to exclude as many air bubbles as possible as well. Because remember, fermentation, lactic acid, and this is lactic acid fermentation, happens in anaerobic environment. Yes, so without oxygen. That's why we put everything under brine and exclude the bubbles. So we want those air bubbles out. Plus, by pressing down, we create even more of the natural brine, which is always a plus. So we want to do it. Do make sure to hold your jar. Don't do that, because it will fly. I've had that accident once at my life classes. Ooh, look at that, look at that, look at that. Oh my God, this is so pretty. We might even not need, look, I'm pressing and you see extra brine is created. We might not even need any extra brine. I love that already. I really don't like adding water when I don't need to. So you understand. So this, what can we call this? Vegetable medley? I don't know. Please come up with English names. As you could probably guess by my last name and my accent, I am Russian from Latvia. And obviously I know English, but not, you know, to the level that I can actually come up with more interesting names. So if you have any interesting names for this, please comment basically, or DM me. Look at that, look at that, look at that. This is so pretty. Look at this. I get very excited with my ferments. I'm going to put the rest of them, oh, actually I'm going to leave it here. I have some leftovers. I'm going to use that in a different jar after this life. Yeah, I'm not going to waste our time. So, but I'm not done here yet. So here, ideal situation here would be to use a weight, pickling weights, if you have any, or usually they're round glass weights. I'm gonna check, maybe I have some left that are not already working in other jars, or it could be a pebble actually. No, I think my pebble is working somewhere in the other jar. It could be a pebble, something heavy. Could be a smaller size jar, which I definitely have. So smaller size jar, you put it in, you take this and kind of press down, close, and that jar that is pressing down on the ingredients is keeping them under brine. This is perfect. Yeah. So I'm going to probably just tiny bit, just a little bit, just a little bit more ingredients, because we want to leave a good size free space. Yeah, it shouldn't be too much. So half an empty jar is not great, because you will definitely too much oxygen and above the ingredients, and it will definitely draw some unwanted pathogens or some unwanted activity. We don't want that, right? So what we want to do is create optimal environment, and so it's environment that is perfect for the bacteria that we want to grow, and at the same time environment that makes our life easy. So I'm going to if you don't have, look, I have enough. I don't even need, everything should be floating in brine. Yeah, everything should be floating in brine, and that's enough safety. What else you can do, right? If you don't have the weights, we are going to close this. Make sure the walls here are clean, because anything attached to the wall and above the brine exposed to oxygen might potentially attract some pathogens. We don't want that, right? So what we're going to do now, we're going to close this. Yeah, so I left, what, probably 2 centimeters I left. Yeah. So for sure it doesn't overflow and mess up the kitchen counter. So now I'm going to close this. How tight or not tight you close, it doesn't really matter. It makes no difference. I'm going to try and find the weight. I'm not sure I've got it. If not, leave it as is. Yeah, if you feel like, oh my God, this is so scary, I really don't feel that this is safe, I really want to add some brine to keep it like so it looks safer. Create 2% brine. Yeah, so you probably need like 100 gram of water, ml of water, and then 2 gram of salt. Dissolve that salt in the water and use the tablespoon to top up. Actually, I've got some here. And make sure that all your liquid from the bottom goes in here, yeah? Do not leave it. Ah, look. And that is enough. Perfect. Look at that, it's all floating. Yeah, it doesn't have to, this does not need to look like ingredients here and lots of brine above. It's not necessary. So even just floating is really good. So what we're gonna do next, especially those who don't have weights, every day, well, first of all, we're gonna leave this at room temperature, away from direct sun rays. So light is fine. Don't put it in airing cupboards or somewhere you're gonna forget about it. So somewhere on the kitchen counter, together with the rest of my stuff that is staying there and fermenting, put it so you see it and you observe it and you tend to it, right? So now that we created perfect environment in the jar, we need to maintain that environment, yeah? And mostly that environment consists of enough salt, fresh ingredients, and everything under brine. So, what we're gonna do, we are going to, so how are we going to maintain this environment? Yeah, we are going to use, I call it magical tablespoon technique. So tomorrow you're just gonna leave it like that. Yeah, and you need to attend to this once a day. That's all you need to do. So once a day, you're gonna come up to that jar and check it out, see what's happening. Maybe there's bubbles already. If you want to check for bubbles, if your jar, the lid is tight, release the lid and it will do psh, a little sound. Yeah, a little sound, hissing sound. That means that fermentation has started, everything is going really well. And most probably if you hear that the bubbles will rush to the surface, that is also okay, good. We want the bubbles, okay? Possibly depending on the temperature, because fermentation is very much temperature dependent. And so within 2-3 days, you are going to have those bubbles. We want to have them within 2-3 days, okay? If the temperatures are lower, like maybe 18 degrees, if that's winter when you're watching me, then it might take a bit longer. But most probably, sort of like usually day 3, 2-3 should be there, right? Another way to check for bubbles is to open this and press down on the ingredients. You will see the bubbles rushing up, surfacing. Yeah, that's one thing. Another thing, what you're actually looking for daily is that your ingredients are either floating comfortably in brine, and if somebody one of those guys decided to float up and kind of stick out like that, yeah, you take your tablespoon, you press things down under brine as they are now. Once a day is enough. And kind of like put them back into the situation of floating in brine. Do it once a day. That is more than enough to keep things safe here and prevent the pathogenic activity. Okay? So, the minute we have the brine, we have the bubbles. Yeah, we are looking for bubbles because the fermentation is all about bubbles, lactic acid fermentation. We look for bubbles. The minute we see them, we are going to open, like probably day 2-3, and taste. I would probably go by carrots because the carrots are the longest to ferment. What should happen? So when you take and bite that carrot and start chewing on it should be salted through, right? Because it can be a situation where part of it is salted, because obviously it's in the salt brine. So you would take it in your mouth, and when you crunch and start chewing on it, you can feel it as if it's a fresh carrot that you just chopped, like quite sweet. It shouldn't be like that. Yeah, I'm pretty sure very fast this will ferment, probably within 5 days. Yeah, we will discover that together in stories. But I would as an indicator, I would take the carrots because the carrot is the longest to ferment. So whenever the carrot is salted through, that's it. Yeah, you close this, you put it in the fridge, you start eating. It's not as vital in the fridge to keep pushing things under brine. You don't have to do that. But whenever you take your stuff and scoop it out for the food, for a meal, just take that same tablespoon and push everything under brine and clean the walls. That way your ferment will stay fresh and tasty longer. That's all. Yeah, no secrets. This is it. Yeah, I'm going to keep you posted in stories. Join me. I hope you've done this recipe, and if you feel like sharing your jar of this medley, let's call it summer medley, I will be more than happy to receive that. Post the pictures in my direct message in Instagram. Yeah, I will be very, very happy to see those. Happy fermenting. Let me finish this. Oh.